is the 12th Man Fan Jam Show, World Service, reporting live from Wembley in London. Please do not adjust your wireless or radiophonic televisual set. Here is the news. London has been invaded by an army of 12s, wearing blue and green jerseys, which can mean only one thing. Go Hawks.
Oh, bloody hell! By Jove, all you wankers! Welcome to episode 612, the UK and Raiders edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show as your Seattle Seahawks get ready to take on the Oakland Raiders in merry old England. Oh, and what can I tell you? Yes, the 12s are returning the favor on the British invasion, people. You sold us the Beatles, and we're giving you the Seahawks. I think it's a fair trade. So glad to be back here for our 137th episode, and what a great episode this is going to be. Let's meet the posse for this episode. First, really, our host this week, the yin to my yang, and reporting from England, of course, it's Matt from merry old England. Hi, Matt.
Top of the morning, Moses. Hi.
Matt, how you holding up, man?
I am. Do you know what? This place has gone crackers, mates. England has gone. England has suddenly become Seattle. It's just as everyone's here apart from you guys, obviously.
Yeah, I know. It's very quiet around here.
This is the place to be. I don't know what you're all doing over there. This is the place to be right now.
You know, I envision like going into the Seattle Pro Shop right now and just like nobody there and just walking around, like da da da.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll get that in a minute. Because someone who could do that, who is in the state of Washington, of course, is our news hound, Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses.
How you holding up there? Kind of quiet on the streets?
Well, it's been kind of a rough week, Moses. I got a great deal on a ticket to London, so I flew out a couple days ago. Oh. And it wasn't until I landed I realized I was in London, Ontario.
Nice. You know, there's a London, Ohio, too, so be careful.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, it always could have been worse.
It could, yes, absolutely. And also joining us this evening from the state of California, making another wonderful appearance on our show. We love having him on. Game Buzz comics are everywhere. If you are not familiar with Game Buzz comics, find Game Buzz comics. They're fantastic. Blitz the Seahawk every week does something just hysterical, and is a two-parter this week. And that person that draws that wonderful comic is, of course, Mike Pascale. Mike, welcome back.
Cool, blimey. How is everyone?
Oh, blimey. It's rubbish. That's what it is.
I got to get in the spirit of this.
Matt just turned off his mic, I think. Right?
Yes, in disgust.
Mike, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Buzz is in England with the Raiders fan.
Yes, he
and
is.
If you go on Facebook and type in Game Buzz comic, B-U-Z-Z, you'll see him.
Almost a very bad Freudian slip there.
Yeah, that was close.
Gaze Buzz is a whole different comic.
That's the one Matt draws.
Yeah.
Game Buzz Comics.
That's for my San Francisco pals.
For our friends in foreign lands. Yes, and they are fantastic. Blitz.
Thank you.
Buzz.
Buzz.
Not Blitz.
Don't get me into a lawsuit, Dennis.
Yeah. Buzz. Buzz goes around, and he's in England right now with the big Raider fan who's always like about 8 foot tall and full of muscles and about as smart as a chair. And Buzz always has a hard time with him. How long?
Nice reference,
Mike,
there.
You blew my mind one time when you told me this, because the comics are just brilliant. They're fantastic. How long does it take for you to draw those?
You know, it all depends, because I try to reuse as much artwork as I can, and which, you know, but every now and then I'll have to draw something new. So like this week, it was tough because I needed a background that looked like England.
Oh,
I sure as heck wasn't going to take all that time to draw it.
Yeah.
So I cobbled together some photos, and then I had to put them in there, and I had to scale everything. And so, yeah, it can take as little as an hour and a half and as long as 6 hours. It all depends.
Wow.
So, but hey, it's all for free, right?
I tell you what, my drawing skills in 6 hours, I would have half of Buzz's head probably would all have 6 hours. But and also Mike does some not just Buzz, but just you do some amazing artwork overall too. It's just some amazing stuff. So
thank you, sir.
Please check out his stuff, and let's check out the show, shall we, gentlemen? Fergie.
Yeah.
Let's get in here.
All right, this show, if you've never listened, is run like a real NFL football game. We have 4 quarters and halftime. Quarter 1 will be news. We're going to ask Matt to kind of give us a report, since he's over in England, about how crackers it's gone in England with the Seahawks invading the United Kingdom. Quarter 2, we will recap the Rams game, last week's loss against the Los Angeles Rams. At halftime, it is the best Seahawk-themed game, trivia game on the internet. I'm referring, of course, to 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia
Of the world.
Oh, nice. Of the world. And without the 4-peat champion, Dustin, there will be a new champion tonight between the 3 of you. So be excited about that.
That was very nice of him to give us a chance.
It was, wasn't it? Quarter 3, we're going to play a new game called Speaking British with Matt, which will be a lot of fun. And then injury report and weather and fashion.
I think Matt's
going
to win that game.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that. And then we'll put all of that information together between the Seahawks and the Raiders, and we'll make our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls in the 4th quarter. Before we start, please like, share, subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We have a lot of fun on there. Game day threads are always fun. We're also going to some other stuff in the next couple weeks I'll be bringing on the show and talking about, but not quite ready to talk about that yet. But we got some fun stuff coming up, and maybe even a live show in December. We'll see. Also on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. Email 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com, and look for the podcast on every show on iTunes and Podbean. Let's get to the 1st quarter and news. Yes, news from around the NFL brought to you by this week's sponsor, the By Jove English Cuisine Restaurant here in America. Yes, a restaurant dedicated to English cuisine. We put peas in everything. It's By Jove, the English Cuisine Restaurant, already filing for bankruptcy. All right. Now, I usually pass it off to Will here, but since the Seahawks game is taking place in Marietta, England, I thought we'd ask our Johnny-on-the-spot Matt for a report of the happenings over in the land of tea and crumpets leading up to Sunday's game. So, Matt, if you would kind of fill us in on how everything's going over there.
Well, as I said, the country's gone Seahawks crackers, and that's true. We have... they landed on Thursday. There was a group of people at the airport to meet them when they arrived. So there was and I have to say, I did feel a bit sorry for the players as they're going through arrivals at Heathrow, because I've done that flight and it's not fun. It's not a fun flight from London. So I was like, oh, let them go through. Let them go through. They're knackered. But they came through and they're off to their area, which apparently they're in Watford, I think, is where they're based and where they're practicing, and which means actually it's quite good, because the turf and the grass that they're playing on is going to be identical almost to what they'll see at Wembley. So this is a real grass field, so it's all good for them. They did their early press releases, as I'm sure you've seen.
Nice.
The main thing that's going on at the moment, though, is some pretty hardcore partying. I've got pictures, and they're all over the Twitter. If you've not seen them, go and have a look. But there's a pub. So basically what the NFL UK did is it set up 2 pubs, 2 sort of restaurant pubs in London, one for Raiders fans and one for Seahawks fans, to sort of go to and congregate around. Now, the Seahawks pub is called the Barrow Boy and Banker Pub. Be careful how you say that. It's near London Bridge, actually. It's just next door to Southwark Cathedral, but it's next to London Bridge. Yeah, look, you remember London Bridge?
It's not falling down, is it?
No, it's the one that the bloke brought and put into Arizona. He decided to buy a bridge, so he bought London Bridge and then took it apart and flew it over to Arizona. Only in America would that happen. I'm telling you, only in America would that happen. But yeah, so by London Bridge, the new one, is the pub. They've had already on Thursday. They did a trivia night. They did where they basically stole our idea, Dennis. Is what they did.
See,
because they did a sort of 12-man half-time trivia, but they did it for an hour. We should sue. I totally was all over that, to be honest.
We should.
On this evening, they are basically hanging out with. I'm going to say this how careful I say this. They're basically hanging out with Walter Jones.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And what's really happening is that Walter Jones is now gone nightclubbing with UK Seahawkers.
Yes, he is.
So
nice.
He's out there. I don't know what's happening now. They're doing shots or something.
They are, and they're. He's absolutely 100% true. This is all over my Facebook page, which is great. But there's a picture of like 8 or 10 UK Seahawkers, and there's Big Walter, just a part of them, like just part of the group with a smile. And then like there's Gordon Curry, who does, like you said, designed the Seahawker logo. and him and Walter singing to some song, and it's just like, Walter's just like literally hanging out with these guys. It's amazing.
Yeah. And Walter had dinner with them on Thursday as well.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? I mean, UKC was just taking care of everybody. We've got volunteers out and about. We've got volunteers showing Walter Jones around and keeping him company. We've got volunteers out there getting tickets for people who can't get tickets or haven't got their tickets yet. We've got volunteers basically being tour guides for some groups of Americans who want.
Amazing.
So UK Seahawks are busy out there. You might be asking what I'm doing. I'm here. It's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm not getting there until tomorrow, so I don't arrive until Saturday, or today as it is for me now. But yeah, so this is all going on at the moment. We've had John Schneider. He turned up, wandering around, saying hello to people. They had Jen Mueller was there. I think Steve Raybol's been there. Blitz has been there, having pictures taken, and it's great because Blitz has been across all of London, taking a big light box with the number 12 on it, and basically having a picture taken with Blitz anywhere that he is. He's been to London, to Tower of London. He's been every bloody where, to be frankly honest. And hopefully I'm going to get a picture with him tomorrow if I manage to get down there in time. So that's all going on, but that's only half of it. On Saturday, so tomorrow night, which I've got to say tomorrow night for you guys, is the UK Seahawker party, where we managed to get a whole bar called Revolution Bar in London in the Leadenhall, which is actually near the Gherkin. I don't know if you remember the Gherkin. It's a funny shape, but it looks like a giant dildo. Anyway, it's true. It's true. It's what it looks like. Or a butt plug. Anyway, but
all right.
There's a whole bar that we basically got. They've got 500 tickets have been sold. It was sold out immediately. So I've got to go there for that party. So there's that one going on. There's 500 Seahawkers all in one place having a giant party, basically.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to be ridiculous. And I don't drink, so I'm going to be the only sober one in the room. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to tell.
You're going to have to drive every single person there back to their hotel.
It's London. You ain't got to drive. You just fall out into an Uber. Mission.
Perfect. Just fall into a new.
It's just perfect. Yeah. So that's all going on tomorrow night. That's ticket only, and that's going to be amazing. Then on the Sunday we've got the tailgate. There's 4 official tailgates. Well, there's 2 official tailgates and 2 unofficial tailgates going on. Basically, I should be at the Green Man in Wembley. So if anyone is listening who's going to be there, and I should be at the Green Man before the game. Doors open at the stadium at 4:00. Game will be national anthems and such will be about 5:30. Then we're straight into the game at 6, and then we win.
Awesome. Get a picture taken with Matt, and Matt will put on 12-Man Fan Jam show.
Oh yeah, if you sit, get a picture with me. I'm more than happy to have pictures of me.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Hey, not to bring the house down, because this is just an amazing event, and it's just amazing. There are so many wonderful UK Seahawkers I've met over the years, and I don't want to get too sobering here, but there is something going on at the end of the first quarter, Matt. I believe. Absolutely,
and I'm going to come to that as well in my weather and fashion. So I'll come back to that later on in the show. But yeah, there's something happening. I'll tell you all about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the weather and fashion, because it really is worth talking about. A real dedication to a real great Seahawk fan coming up. But
nice. I was going to say we've had loads of media over here, absolutely tons of media. So I think Kerry's been over here. I think Seattle Times have been over here doing stuff. All the podcasts have been over here as well. And I think Terry Peppard, if you've never ever met Terry Peppard, you got to meet Terry. Terry's amazing. He's every bloody where. I mean, he's getting more ads from the Kanye West at the moment over here. Which is amazing. So we've had loads of opportunities as well to talk about the UK Seahawkers, and I think we've also, I want to make a big shout out too. We've got the German Seahawkers have come over.
Yes,
I think they're bringing about 300 of themselves over. So the Germans are coming. The Germans are coming again, and this time hopefully they're not going to bomb East London. That would be very nice.
Can we say it's a blitzkrieg of Germans coming, or is that?
Well, that's awkward, isn't it? Because you've got Blitz walking around the. You know what I mean?
True.
That's not
the first time the Blitz has been welcomed in London.
Indeed. It's not their idea of Blitz. We survived both. It will be fine.
You did.
Then we've got the Germans are coming over. We've got the French coming in. We've got some Irish Seahawkers coming over now. France has just created its own Seahawk group, so they're coming over. Obviously, they'll surrender as soon as they arrive and go back again. But effectively, the whole of Europe is descending on London.
Wow. Just amazing, and so many Seahawk fans. It's hard to describe to anybody. I tell somebody I do this podcast with somebody from England. Why is he a Seahawk fan? You don't understand. I've met like 30 people from England that are Seahawk fans, so this is nothing new. I mean, for me, it's just a natural progression, and it's going to be a home game. I have no doubt about it. But we'll talk about that coming up. But
I think what I would say about this whole weekend, and I'm not, as you know, I'm not a massive fan of the NFL being played outside of America. I would much prefer my American football to be in America, and I'm still happy to say that. But what this does do is it gives us an opportunity once again to play host to family. So right now, families in town. We've got people, as I say, out there volunteering and showing them around and making sure they're safe and get to where they want to get to and see all the things they want to see. But this is family to us. And yes, we're 7,000 kilometers away in a different direction. But 12s are 12s. It doesn't matter where you live. 12s everywhere.
Well, just be careful. Don't pull back a little bit, because we don't want Goodell to get any ideas about moving the team there, because we want to stay away from that if we can. But all right, excellent, Matt. Thank you for the report.
You're welcome.
All right, that'll be the end of the first quarter.
Goodness me, that's the end of the first quarter. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun?
Coming up on this UK and Raiders edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia, weather, fashion, injuries, English lingo. But next, we take a look back at Sunday's loss to the Rams. Right after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Oh, bloody hell. Bugger me, it's the second quarter.
Yes, it is the second quarter of episode 612 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. And unfortunately, this is the time when we look back and we look at the Seahawks game the week before, although there's a lot of positives to look back from that game, I guess. But all in all, a loss is a loss, like a win is a win. Seahawks lose to the Rams last week, 33-31. Will, there was a lot of positive, though, in that game, wasn't there?
Oh, indeed. And we've talked about this a lot the last couple of weeks, but it really bears repeating after this game. The running game, how we've just been able to run so well, Carson and Davis. We were overpowering everybody talks about the Rams defensive line, and with good reason, but while they're great pass blockers, we kicked their ass in the running game.
Absolutely.
And it was fun to watch.
Yes.
Watching DJ Fluker pancake and Ndamukong Suh on that one touchdown was just a thing of beauty. They were just opening holes for these guys all game long, and it's time to stop thinking of the offensive line as a huge weakness on this team. I mean, they gave up a couple sacks, but it's Aaron Donald. He's going to get a couple sacks. It's just the way it goes. But Wilson for the most part had a decent amount of time, and we just road graded their defensive line every time we ran the ball, and it was just fun to watch.
And it was fun to see DJ Fluker after the game because he was mad about that holding penalty.
Yes.
And his attitude, just the whole attitude, we owned you for 4 quarters. And I forget the phrase he said. We carried your water for 4 quarters or whatever he said. He was clearly pissed off. He was clearly angry that we lost, even though every Seahawk fan I heard was like, man, what a great game. It's too bad we lost, but wow, no, none of that with Fluker. He was angry. He was angry about the holding penalty because they had owned that team for 4 quarters, and they should have come out with a win. I love the attitude. That's what we're missing. That kind of attitude is exactly what we're missing.
It is not a coincidence that our running game started to take off when DJ Fluker started playing again.
Amen.
That guy, we got to keep that guy around, and he's got to stay healthy, and we got the makings of something good here.
I totally agree. Mike, what's something that you maybe saw or heard about the game as a positive from last week?
Well, thanks to the geniuses at the NFL, I saw every California game except this one. The Chargers and the Raiders and the 49ers were all on TV, so I had to watch it via text on NFL.com, play-by-play, but they replayed it.
Oh, good.
Because it was the game of the week, so I did watch quite a bit of it, and, Will kind of stole my thunder because, I was pleasantly surprised at that running game. That's what, 2 or 3 weeks in a row with 100-yard rushers?
Yeah, over 150 yards. It was 170 and 190 yards last couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, and I thought Vanette actually played pretty good for for not having Disley there.
Yes.
And Russ, there was a scramble he did that was In fact, it almost looked like Mahomes, where he was just running around and you thought he was going to run out of bounds and he just shoveled it.
Oh yeah,
and he got a touchdown. And that was great.
Yes.
It was Moore, wasn't it? I think it was to Moore.
I think it was.
Yeah,
and I had mentioned on Twitter real quick about that play. We forget. I think we forget just how special he is because he's so special every week for 6 years.
Yeah.
7 years. You go, that's just Russell being Russell. But man, that play right there where that whole defense didn't know what to do with him for about 5 seconds.
But I like the fact, though, if you notice, he's not holding onto the ball way too long trying to make something happen like he was on the week 1 and 2. So I was pleasantly surprised that we got some really big plays, and it wasn't just 2 yards and 1 yard here. They were picking up some chunks of of real estate there. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I agree. Matt, something positive?
Mike Wachowski. No, what's his name? Janikowski.
Mike Wachowski.
1-for-1 field goals, longest 52, extra points 4 or 4.
Yeah.
Was that a clean kicking record? Was that a clean kicking record, everybody?
I think it was.
Goodness gracious.
How about that?
I have to say, when you get a clean kicking record, you just got to sit there and go, yeah, that's a positive. I'll take that all day long. I think the other thing that I would stress as well, as I was impressed with Moore, I just think, and again, as you said at the beginning, I really actually quite enjoyed this game. I know we didn't win, but I do think sometimes you need a good moral victory to sort of get to remind you why you love football, because I think things can become frustrating. You can see your team not play a good game or throw away good chances and mess things up with penalties and God knows what, and that's frustrating. And that you start picking out all the nitpick things about why you don't like the NFL rules, why you don't like the officiating, and all that sort of stuff. But when you get a good game of football, you love it. It's a bit like the Houston's game last year. It's a good game of football.
Yeah.
And that was a great game, and I would watch that again. I prefer the other result, but I'll take the game for what it was.
That was funny watching the game with Little Mo, and about midway through the second quarter, as they're just smacking the Rams in the face on offense in particular, and I said, "You know what we're watching?" And he looked at me and his little face grinned out, and he said, "We're watching Seahawk football finally." I said, "Yeah." It's just like, this is Seahawk football. We're going to beat you for 4 quarters. We're just going to beat you for 4 quarters. We're just going to, punch you for 15 rounds. And that's exactly offensively the attitude that we have. We're going to come and smash mouth you for 4 quarters. And
you might win, but it's not going to be easy. Yeah.
And he just like lit up. He's like, this is Seahawk football. I said, sure is. This is what, Carroll wanted from way back, when it's why he got Marshawn Lynch and begged for Marshawn Lynch, because that's the kind of football Carroll wants. Well, now he's got it, on offense at least. And yeah, defense has got some work. But I do have a question I want to ask you all real quick here before we go to the 2-minute warning. And it's about the supposed controversial play. I don't see it. I think people are nitpicking, but I don't know what the posse thinks. So here's the deal. With about a minute and a half to go, right? Am I right? 4th and 1.
Yep.
The Rams are going to punt. They measure for the first down, and they don't get it.
Yep.
Now, once they're done measuring, the clock would start again. But we call timeout to save time for our offense. At what point, of course, the Rams change their minds, come onto the field, get the first down, end the game.
Correct.
A lot of people are complaining about this.
Yes.
And saying that was a terrible call by Carroll. I don't see it. Is there anybody on this panel that wants to? I don't know. Do any of you think?
I wouldn't say it was terrible, but I think he did the wrong thing because, A, we needed a field goal, so I would have kept the one timeout we had to get the unit onto the field so that Russ could have thrown the ball down the middle if he needed to.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm saying. You want to preserve, my argument is, I 100% agree with the timeout. And the reason I do is you can't stop the clock on defense. You can stop the clock on offense a lot of ways that doesn't involve a timeout. And he's given our offense a minute and a half to get into scoring position. To me, that's a lot better than 1 minute and a timeout in scoring position. That's just the minute it happened, I didn't have a problem with it. And then like the next day, Twitter and Facebook was just overrun with, oh my God, what a terrible call. I don't see the terrible call. Just because they changed and they went and got the first down doesn't make it a terrible call. That was a good call, and there was a gutsy call on their part because I'll tell you right now, if they didn't get that first down, they'd be talking about that because he gave us basically field goal range if we don't make that first down.
Yeah, but I think that was a given. I mean, it was only a few inches, and Goff is 9 feet tall, so I think it was.
Yeah, you had to fall over to get it.
Yeah.
I think for me, I think it was. I didn't. At the time, I sort of sat there and to say to myself, "Why on earth have you just done that?" But when I think it was like 32 seconds he saved, or 36 seconds is what he said in the interview. And 36 seconds is an age in football.
Yeah.
Providing you can stop the clock, though.
Right.
And so, otherwise, 36 seconds means nothing.
Which they can do on offense. They can't do that on defense.
Right, but it's a field goal. If we needed a touchdown, I'd say absolutely. But for a field goal and the way that we were picking up yardage, I didn't think a minute would have been a problem for Russ.
Here's the thing, though. There were still, even if Carroll lets the clock run, there are 36 seconds. There's nothing stopping the Rams from running their offense back onto the field.
Right.
Even if we let the clock go. So we can't say for certain that if we let the clock run that they decide to punt it. I was hoping and praying that they were going to punt because it's like, ooh, they've only got about half an inch to go. They could maybe go for it. It'd be the gutsy call. Yeah. And then as soon as they ran their offense out there again, I was saying things I can't really repeat on a family podcast.
Sure.
But I think it's entirely possible that the Rams would have gone for it anyway if we had.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And I think you want to. I mean, you guys you're saying with a minute they could red out kick a field goal, but with a minute and a half you can take your time, you can huddle up, you can audible if you have to. It's not so hurried up at 1.5 as it is with one. I think personally, with no timeouts at 1.5, you can call a couple plays in the huddle, and even if it's passed over the middle, you can get everybody together. To me, I just felt like a minute and a half was a lot more comfortable time than expected Wilson to go out there with a minute to get a field goal range. That's just the way I was looking at it.
And it bears repeating. It bears mentioning too that the defense had already given up a first down on that one drive.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't happen, if we hold them to a 3 and out, time also.
Yes.
So.
That's a great point. That's a great point as well. Okay. I appreciate everybody. That was some good discussion there. I wonder what y'all thought about that. So let's go ahead and go to the 2-minute warning.
Please keep calm and carry on. This is the 2-minute warning.
All right, let's check out that wonderful posse prediction challenge. I know this is Mike Pascale's favorite part of the show. Okay, the scores last week. Will gets 3 points because he said the Seahawks would score 31, and they did.
Wish I'd been right about the Rams score.
I know.
Yeah.
I get a point for the closest score. I said 34-31. It was 33-31. That's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty well. I had the other way around, though. But prognostications, a point to Jose. Seattle had more rushing yards than the Rams. Tom gets a point with Wilson, 2 TDs. Mike Pascale gets a point saying Gurley would have less than 100 rushing yards. And Satsman Mark gets a point because Carson was over 100 yards. For the game ball, I gave a point to Tom, Will, and me for Wilson. I thought Wilson had a really nice game. I gave a point to Mike Pascale and Jose for Lockett. I thought Lockett had a really nice game.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I don't know about that one. He annoys the hell out. Can I just say he annoys the hell out of me? When you do a kick return, does he always have to run in the opposite direction of where he's supposed to be going?
That's true.
I know he's trying to find a way through, but he's giving up 10 yards one game. He's giving up 8 yards the following game.
That's a good point. And a point to Statsman Mark for Carson for having 100 yards touchdown. Excuse me. I think he had a touchdown. Over and under was over. It's a point to Jose, Tom, Mark, Ty Turner, me, and Will. Meaning, last week looked like this.
Meaning I got nothing.
Sorry, Matt.
Yeah, but you got the Seahawks in your neighborhood, dude. So.
Well, yeah, really. Will with 5, Moses with 3, Jose with 3, Tom with 3. Statsman Mark with 2, Mike Pascale with 2, Mark Ty Turner 1, also Little Mo with 0, if that makes you feel better. Individual scores after 5 games look like this. Mike Pascale at the top with 13.
Woohoo!
Mark Ty Turner with 11. Tom with 10. Then Will with 9.
Yay!
Little Mo, Jose, and Moses all at 8. Matt at 7. Mark at 5. Dustin at 4, which means after 5 games, Team 12 at 50, Team Posse at 33. But we did shave a point off that lead, guys. It's now only a 17-point lead.
Got him on the run now.
Yeah, Mike. So get ready, buddy.
All right.
All right.
Worried.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, you shouldn't be. Let's go ahead and get ready for halftime.
By Jove, it's halftime trivia, so it must be time for tea and biscuits.
Yes, coming up for the show, there is so much more fun ahead. What is a Fizzywig? Why is everyone in England telling us to bugger off? And where's the Queen? Blimey! All these answers and more are just around the corner. But first, it's another wonderful edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And that's coming up.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, me, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
Of the world!
The trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants are the posse themselves, Mike Pascale, Matt, and Will. And here be the rules, they are. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-man Fan Jam Show trivia champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
Is it Yoda? British Yoda?
It's a British Yoda. Oh, okay. You know, you cannot Google, you cannot ask a friend, you cannot wager, and all of that stuff. There are 3 questions per round. 2 of them are football questions, 1 not so much. Mike, you are a guest. We'll let you pick first round. 1, 2, or 3?
I will go with 3.
Mike will go with 3, and then we will go Will, 1 and 2?
1.
1, and that means Matt is number 2.
Yeah, story of my life.
Okay. All right, Will. Yours is not a football question. Here's what I want to know.
Just like normal.
Yeah. What is the length of standard colonial flintlock musket used by American militia in the Revolutionary War? Was it 3 feet long, 4 feet long, or 5 feet long? So in other words, how long was their gun? 3 feet, 4 feet, or 5 feet? The length of a standard colonial flintlock musket used by American militia. 3 feet, 4 feet, or 5 feet?
Well, this is America. We do things big here, so I'm going 5 feet.
America! Little Mo said 5 feet too. And Mosette said 3 feet. You said 5 feet. Yes!
Yay!
5 feet's American! Will's on the board. Congratulations, Will.
Thank you. And congrats to you too, Moses.
Thanks. Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hello.
Did you know that in the calendar year 1984, the Seahawks and Raiders actually met 4 times?
Wow.
January 8th, October 7th, November 17th, and December 22nd. How many of those games out of 4 did the Seahawks win? 1, 2, or 3? How many of those did they win out of 4?
I'll ask the kids. What do the kids say?
Okay. Both kids said they won 3 out of 4. Of course, they weren't born in 1984.
Good
So.
say.
Not
Let's
first-hand
split the difference.
experience.
I'll go for 2. We'll split the difference.
Go for 2.
Yeah, 50-50%.
Go for 2. Might as well go for a donut. Nobody hurts. Nobody cries. But you're gonna go for 2.
Yes. Good.
Matt, twice. They won November 12th and December 22nd.
Yeah.
2 of those were playoff games. So
Playoffs?
Yeah, playoffs?
Playoffs?
Mike.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mike, the last time the Seahawks played in the regular season in Oakland against the Raiders, it was way back in 2010. That's a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah, how many times was Matt Hasselbeck sacked in that game? 4, 6, or 8? 2010.
Wow.
That
Khalil
game.
Mack
Oh,
was
gosh,
even
I remember
on the
that
team.
I remember this game.
That was that was Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Halloween game?
What were the
Yeah.
3 choices?
4, 6, or 8? How many times was he sacked?
Bad or
Good
awful.
God. All right. I hope it's not 8, but yeah, I'll go with 6.
Okay, I hope it's not 8. Mosette said 4. Little Mo said 6. You were all hoping that it wasn't 8. It was 8, yeah.
Holy. I should have known because it was so
times.
high.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Everyone's got a point but Mike as we go into round 2, so we will start with Will, 4, 5, or 6.
We'll do 6 this time.
Matt, 4, 5.
I'll go 4.
And that means that Mike, you are number 5.
Yay.
And again, 2 questions are football related. 1, not so much. All right, here we go. Matt, you have a football question, number 4.
Mm-hmm.
The last time the Seahawks won in Oakland against the Raiders in the regular season was 1997.
Wow.
What?
No.
No.
Yes.
That's outrageous.
How many times did the Seahawks sack Jeff George in that game? 5, 6, or 7?
Jeff
Ooh.
freaking George was in that game.
Jeff George.
Oh,
Not enough. Is
Grew
that
up
what
in
it's-
Indianapolis, by the way. I know people. My wife, in particular, could tell you some stories about Jeff George that pretty much are what you think they be. Yeah, how many times did Jeff George
What
get
were the options
sacked?
again?
5,
4,
6, or
5?
7?
Oh, 5.
5. Mosette said 5. Little Mo said 7.
I can't imagine we got him 6 and 7. It just starts to become unfair if it starts to come there.
Yeah, that's 5.
Oh, cool.
Well done. Matt's got 2.
Nice.
This goes to Mike. Mike,
Yes, sir.
you have a football question. Will, you know what that means?
Gosh.
I wonder if we have a streak going with. I know we have.
I have a knack for this, I swear.
Yeah, I know it's at least 3 in a row. Was it both of them last week too?
Maybe just been one last
Just
week.
one, but it's 3 in a row now for you. I know that.
I usually do better with those, though. I could have
Yeah.
traded with you, Will.
I don't know.
Okay.
Because, Mike, this was pretty easy. Now, listen, the last time the Raiders won in Seattle in the regular season was 1998.
All right.
Who had the most receptions for the Seahawks in that game? Was it Joey Galloway, Mike Pritchard, or Ricky Waters? How do you like that?
Wow.
Why not that group? Joey
Last
Galloway,
pass.
Mike Pritchard, or Ricky Waters? Nice.
Well, I don't remember Pritchard. I do remember Waters, and I remember Galloway, and I love that guy, so I'm going to go with Galloway.
Going with Joey Galloway.
Yep.
All right. Well, Mosette agreed with you, and she went with Joey Galloway.
Smart girl.
Little Mo went with Ricky Waters.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It was Ricky Waters. 9 catches for Ricky Waters in that game. Galloway and Pritchard each had 5. That was a great game. I remember that game.
I should have guessed.
Yeah. Okay. We're at number 6, Will.
Okay.
And it is not it's not a question about football.
I believe we established that.
Yeah. What was the monthly salary for the teenaged fifer and drummers in the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War? How much did they make a month? $6, $8, or $10? When we kicked the British butts back to England, baby. $6, $8, or $10? How much did they make a month for being in the fife and drum for the Continental Army?
Let's see. I'm gonna go $8.
You're gonna go $8. That's all I'm giving you. $8. Get over it. Little Mo said $8. Mosette said $10. You said 8. You know, she's not very good with money, Mosette.
Wow.
You're right. It's 8.
It was like my
So,
first job. That's about
yeah.
as much as I got.
So
here's what we got. We got Mike.
242 years and nothing has changed when it comes to salaries.
No, it hasn't. Mike, Will, and Matt. Mike still has nothing.
Thank you.
Will and Matt have 2, which means we could maybe have our first overtime. We'll have to see.
Oh, crumbs.
Because, the rounds are over and it's now time for the final question. Final question. Here's how it works. It is a number high or low. The closest one without going over gets 2 points. If it happens to be Mike, there'll be a double secret overtime question involving all 3 of you, apparently, because you'll all be tied at that point. The order will be Mike will go first, then Will, then Matt. And here is your question, Mike. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. The question is this. How many rushing yards did Marshawn Lynch have for the Seattle Seahawks? How many rushing yards total did Marshawn Lynch have for the Seattle Seahawks?
Ooh.
Like in his career?
In his career for the Seahawks, yes, sir.
Oh, good Lord.
Just last Thursday, yeah.
Why do I have to go first? Oh, man. I got no points.
That's why.
All right. Can you at least tell me how many years he played with us?
Nope.
For us? All right. All right. I'm going to go with...
I'm a ruthless quiz master.
Can I at least use a calculator? I can't figure this out in my head.
Oh my God. You artistic people, I tell you.
I know. Hey, I actually did really well. I went to pre-calculus.
All right.
All right.
How's that pre-calculus working out for you?
How's that working out for you?
All right. I'm going to say 5,000.
Mike's going to say 5,000. Will?
6,219.
Wow. 6,219. Matt? 5,619.
I like being random.
So basically, I either get to go under one or over the other. So
probably.
What is it? 6,219? Did you say?
Yeah.
So I'll go the one above it.
6,220.
220.
Okay, if I am one over on this one, I'm throwing the cat. I swear.
You're throwing the cat.
The cat.
You would
Well,
throw
a
the
little
cat
bit.
over this. Oh my God. Well, here we go. The actual rushing yards that Marshawn Lynch had for the Seattle Seahawks in his career was 6,347.
Oh.
It's only fitting that God Save the Queen would be played on this show, the UK show, because Matt from the UK is our new 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia champion.
Oh, I've got. Hold on.
Order that trophy, buddy.
Trophies on
Congratulations, Matty.
Oh yeah, congratulations, Matt. Well done.
Hey, I get some credit. I pulled a number out of my ass and I was within 150 yards.
You sure did. Well, actually, 130.
Yeah, you did better than I.
128 yards away. That's amazing, Will. But you didn't win, so there you go. So
figures. You're welcome, Matt.
Matt,
Thank you so
congratulations again.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, what an amazing, crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia
of the world.
Wow. Yes. We'll be back with the second half of the show after this. Sex Pistols take us out.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Speak English. All right, my son. I could have had it away with this cracking Judy, my old China.
Are you telling pork pies in a bag of trout? Because if you are feeling quickly, why not just have a J. Arthur?
What, Billy no, mates?
Too right, youth.
Don't you remember the Crimbo Din Din we had with the grotty Scotchman?
Oh, the one that was all 6s and 7s.
Yeah, she was a trouble and strife for the Morris dance that lived up the apples and pears.
Yes, she was the barrister that became a bobby in a lorry, and they gave her the Gatling gun.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats for the third quarter.
All right. Welcome to the third quarter of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Hey, you. Yes, you eating blood pudding. Like, share, and subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Please join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Do it now before we go all 6s and 7s. Too late. You'll find out what that means. All right. We are going to start the second half. And usually we talk about the Seahawks' upcoming game against the Raiders in England. But before we do, as a public service to those 12s who are traveling or have already traveled and arrived in England, I thought it would be a great time to talk British with Matt. So it's time for Talking British with Matt. And now, the 12-Man Fan Jam Show proudly presents Speaking British with Matt. Yes, Talking British with Matt, where we ask Matt to translate English words into American words. Here's how this will go. I will ask each of the posse what the American translation of a British word is, and then Matt will tell you if you're right or wrong, I hope. And if not, I have it here. So, and you have only 10 seconds to answer, so you got to be quick. Okay. All right? So we're just going to go 3 rounds here. We're going to start with Mike. Mike,
yes.
What is a lift?
An elevator.
Matt, is he right?
Yes, he's right.
He's right. He's right. Woohoo! I should have the buzzer, shouldn't I? We do. He's right. Yay! All right.
Well, that was so worth it.
The crowd gets to its feet.
All right.
Really slowly.
Will?
Yes?
What's a waistcoat?
A vest?
Matt?
Not really. It's normally an item of clothing that you wear underneath a suit jacket.
Well, it's a vest, isn't it?
That's not really a vest. A vest is not, say in England, a vest is something you wear under your shirt.
So you're going to go with no.
It's a no, I'm afraid.
It's a no, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Who wears a vest under their shirt?
British people do.
It's a British thing, Mike.
It's a British thing. So don't ask for a waistcoat. Okay. Mike?
Yes.
What's a rubber?
Oh, come on.
Oh, no.
A
I
rubber.
actually know this one.
Yeah, well, they're the protective things you put over your shoes in the rain.
Okay. Matt?
That's a spat. But no, it's a condom.
Oh,
No,
come on.
All right.
Oh,
I had a eraser. Isn't it an eraser?
There's more than one way. A rubber
Yeah.
can be a condom. A rubber can be an eraser. A rubber can be a tire. A rubber can be...
All right.
I
That was
had
a
a
bad
British
one.
chem professor in high school, and
Uh-oh.
he came out and said, if I ask you for an eraser, I'm not asking for a condom. If I'm asking you for a rubber, I'm not asking for a condom.
Will, is it your turn?
Yes, it is.
What's a lorry?
Oh,
That would be a truck or a van.
Yep.
Matt?
It's a heavy goods vehicle. Yeah, it's a truck.
Yes. Will makes a comeback.
This is fun. I quite like this.
We'll go one more round. Mike,
yes.
what is the bonnet on a car? The bonnet on a car is what?
Oh, I know that. That's the hood, what we call the hood in the
Is
front.
it the hood?
Yes, bonnet on the car is a hood.
Yes, well done.
I'm a Detroit guy.
Yeah. And now
You know, with cars.
if he ties it up, we'll go another round. Will,
Yes.
for a baby, what's a dummy?
The thing that they suck on.
Can you be more specific, please? There are several things that babies can suck on.
The little rubber thing that you put in their mouth to shut them up.
Pacifier?
That's it. Thank you.
Sure.
And Matt says?
That's correct. It's a pacifier.
Yeah. It's
Nice!
Something you can suck on.
I knew
Okay.
the British word, but I didn't know
Means we're going-
the English, the American one. Go figure.
We're going overtime. Okay, Mike. What's a windscreen?
Oh,
Oh,
windscreen
come
is
on.
yeah, that's a windshield.
Matt?
And that's correct. It's a windshield.
The car.
Wow, you guys are good.
That was easy.
Will?
Yes.
They're getting too easy now. The only ones I got left are really easy. What's the boot on a car?
That would be the trunk.
Yeah,
I watched.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
we watched Top Gear, man.
Yeah. Wow. Nice done. All right, we'll go one more row and then we'll just leave you tied up. Mike? What's a nappy?
Oh, a nappy. Oh my, that's a like a baby's blanket. That's what a baby.
Baby blanket?
Yeah.
Matt?
You know, like-
Matt?
Security.
It's a nap. It's a diaper.
Yeah, it's a diaper. I can't give it
that's
to you.
fine.
No, it's incorrect.
Can't give
I
it
knew
to
it
you.
had
It's
something
a
to do with
diaper.
babies.
Nappy's a diaper. I think these are going to be too easy for him, but I'm going to give you one here to see if you can win.
What's a fizzy wig?
What's a fezziwig? What? Okay, you're gonna know all these. What's a torch?
Sorry, what was that?
What's a torch?
Flashlight.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will's
All
our
right.
champion. All right.
Congratulations, Will.
Congratulations, Will.
I was
I
gonna
got
hopefully
one
you're
for
gonna
you,
ask.
Dennis. I got one for you, Dennis.
Oh, okay. I'm listening.
What's a tripper?
A tripper?
Yeah.
Well, Jack Tripper was on Three's Company. Does that count?
It does not count. What's a tripper?
It's the switch.
No, it's a push chair. Baby's push chair.
Oh, nice. A tripper. Very nice.
Hey, Moses, I've got one for you.
Okay.
What's a lollipop man?
Yikes.
A good Thursday
I don't
night.
think I want to know.
A good Thursday night.
But I will say Candyman.
No.
Matt, isn't it a crossing guard?
It absolutely is. Yep, crossing guard. Lollipop man. Because they have lollipop
Nice.
sticks which they can write registration numbers
Wow.
on.
I just watched that episode of Frasier where Daphne mentions that. So
Lollipop man.
Very well done, guys. And wow, you guys speak.
I'm
They
quite
speak British.
Can I just say I'm quite impressed?
speak English pretty well.
242 years and you still got some of the words right. That's good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Well, hey, let's move on to the game. This game in England. We had a lot of fun talking about England and everything, but let's go ahead and let's talk about this game and let's see how healthy these teams are by turning to our doctor, Dr. Will, for the 12-man Fan Jam Show injury report. Dr. Will, tell us the news.
Doctor, give me the news. Doctor.
actually, I'm wacky intern Will.
Wacky intern, Will.
Okay, injury reports for Seattle. No real surprises here. Rasheem Green and KJ Wright are out. Carroll made it sound like Wright has a good chance to come back after the bye, and there's really no reason to try and force him to fly across the pond and play this weekend. So let's hope that he'll be ready for Detroit in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Deion Jordan and Nick Vannett are questionable with knee and back issues, respectively. Carroll said in his press conference today, however, that Nick Vannett would play. It sounds like Deion Jordan will too, so hopefully we'll get some good use out of those.
We're running at tight ends.
Yeah,
Will.
it's, I think that's why Nick Vannett's going to play, because we kind of need him to. Switching over to the Raiders, Frosty Rucker, who's a defensive end and not something you would get at Wendy's, is out with a neck injury. Big news is their starting guard, Kelechi Osemele, is out with a knee injury. So that could actually be something fairly substantial.
Well, and Will, aren't they? I believe I heard they're starting on the line already. 2 rookies at tackles, right?
Yeah, Donald Penn is out for the season, and their first-round pick, whose name escapes me, but he's a Tom Cable pick, so he'll be managing a fat burger in 3 years anyway. Yeah, he's starting at the other tackle spot, and I'm not sure who's coming in for Penn. So there's some vulnerabilities on their offensive line.
Absolutely. Wow.
And a bit of trivia: Frosty Wrecker is also Frosty the Snowman's ex-boyfriend.
Oh, there you go.
He melted too quick for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done. All right, well, thank you. That was awesome. Awesome injury report there, Dr. Will, or wacky intern Will.
Thank you.
Yeah, and now let's take a look at what the weather's going to be for the game. And usually we turn to a guy living in another country, and we are. But this time, the game is being held in another country. So it's time for the 12-man Fan Jam Show weather and fashion report with Matt from merry old England. Oh, Matt.
It's raining man.
Yes, thank you, Moses. Well, for once, asking a guy in Europe is probably the most sensible thing we can actually do. So let me just have a little look out the window. Yep. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. That's a problem. Yeah, it's 3:40 in the morning here, so it's dark and I can't see anything. I'm assuming there isn't going to be any weather. But no, not at all. Actually, completely different. Let's do something different. Luckily, I have turned to the ancient British art of reading tea leaves. So let me just have a quick finish this cup of tea up. Hold on.
Jolly good.
Have a little, oh, that's strong. Let's have a little look here. Oh yeah, that's bad. That's terrible. So the tea leaves are telling me it's going to rain solidly for the whole of the day on Sunday in London, in England, which is not unusual, with temperatures reaching 20 degrees centigrade. And I can say 20 degrees centigrade because we're in Britain, where the temperatures make sense. Winds will be moderate and gusty at times, so Wembley may not be the friendliest place for the throwing game, which probably isn't going to matter too much for these two teams, I think.
For the kicking game.
As well, let's face it, all kickers are crap. Let's face it. Okay, so as for fashion, let's get to fashion now, people. Fashion. This is London. This is the world's capital city, where every banknote has a woman on it who has never owned a slave in her life, and the police aren't armed and won't shoot you the moment you call them. So in reality, you can wear whatever the hell you damn well like and not look out of place at all. But I would ask this. If you have a Sea-Jack flag or a 12 flag or any flag at all, at the end of the first quarter, join with us, the UK Seahawkers, stand up and hold that flag high in memory of our late great president, Ian Robert Smith, who was the former president of the UK Seahawkers, who had no greater wish than to see this game, the Hawks, in London, in his manner, playing the team that he wanted them to play here, the Raiders. We miss you, Smudge. Stand up at the end of the first quarter, show your flag and pride, and remember Smudge. That being said, it looks like it's going to be a perfect Seahawks weather. Moses, back over to you.
Excellent. And yeah, absolutely. For Smudge, at the end of that first quarter, raise that flag high. And, Ian Robert Smith was so instrumental in getting the UK Seahawkers going, and just an amazing guy. One of the most lovable, amazing men I've ever met. So absolutely, the end of the first quarter.
Good man taken too soon.
Oh, without question. And so I'll be thinking of Smudge the whole time. And so for Ian Robert Smith, even if you're at home, I'm raising a glass at the end of the first quarter and dedicating it to Smudge. So I'm an amazing man, and he'll be in that stadium for sure. All right, that is the end of the third quarter.
Bloody hell, that's the end of the third quarter.
Coming up next, that's our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls for the Raiders game. You are listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We never go tits up. We'll be right back.
Well, not in public anyway.
No.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Shut up, you American. You always talk, you Americans. You talk and you talk and you say, let me tell you something, and I just want to say this. Shut up, Englishman. You're all so f***ing pompous. None of you have got any balls.
Crikey O'Reilly, it's the fourth quarter.
It's time for the fourth and final quarter of the episode of 12-Man Fan Jam Show. This is where we make our predictions, our prognostications, and, of course, our game balls for the upcoming game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Oakland Raiders. And, oh, did we mention the game was going to be in England? That's where it's going to be, a 1 o'clock Eastern time start, which would be 10 a.m. if you're on the West Coast and listening to this. So get up and have breakfast with the Seahawks. That's all we can say. During break, I don't even know why I brought this up, but Heavy Metal, the movie, the animated special, Mike, who is, of course, an animate extraordinaire, loves that movie, and I was bringing it up, and Matt has never heard of it. No. No. Hey, American Pop? Mike, anything on American Pop? You ever seen that?
Ralph Bakshi, yeah.
I love American Pop. Okay. All right, well, we're done with that. We're going to play some football now. We're not going to play some football. We're going to make some picks.
Let's play
Somebody help me.
Yeah, real quick, the line for this game, Seattle 2.5-point favorites, the over-under at 48.5. So expecting a lot of points in this game as well. First for Team 12, Jose said for this week's game ball, Carson with 2 touchdowns, prognostication, Tedrick Thompson gets a pick, score 31-20. He has a message to Raider fans going to the game. He only knows 2 Raider fans, and one of them is his godfather, and one is his great uncle. So he said, "Can you please do me a favor and play this one thing for me?" And well, because Jose is such a fan, this is Jose's dedication to his Raider fan family, or not his Raider fan family. I guess everybody but, I should say. So,
Fuck you, and fuck you.
all right, we're in. Now, that's his prediction. That's his.
Kind of brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it?
Yeah, there it is. Tom said Hawks 38-20. Carson will get over 150 rushing yards. Game ball to Carson. Little Mo said 35-7.
Nice.
Carson,
Wow.
100 yards rushing. Carson with the game ball. Mark Ty Turner. Oakland is normally the shortest road trip for the Hawks, but the NFL decided to make it the longest in team history. Not that it's a bad thing. They haven't played well in the new and not so improved Black Hole. They are 2-7 in Oakland since the team returned from LA. Compare with that, the Raiders' first stint in Oakland, where the Hawks were 2-3. A few years ago, I would have probably gone to this game, but with my recent losing streak, I don't want to fly 6,000 miles to watch them lose. So, he has the Hawks winning 17-13. Game ball to Carson. And like most games that have been played in London, this is going to be a bit of a dog. Halftime score 3-3, he says. That's his prognostication. So, Mike Pascale, you are here. So, what is your prediction?
All right.
Game ball and all that fun stuff.
Yes. Well, as far as I know, the Chucky movies did not do very well in England. So I think the Seahawks are going to pull this one out
Based
pretty
on
easily.
that.
So I have the Seahawks 26, Oakland 16.
Nice.
I'm going to go out on a limb this time. Instead of picking something easy like the coin toss or
thank you.
That Fetty will have a penalty,
Yeah.
I'm going to bet that Doug will have his first TD of the season.
Baldwin touchdown.
Lovely.
Very good.
And I will also jump on the Carson bandwagon and for my game ball.
Nicely done.
I think he'll do well.
All right. Now for Team Posse, we have two that are missing. Dustin said 27-10. Lockett will have more than 100 receiving yards, but he's going to give the game ball to Wilson.
Nice.
Statsman Mark said 27-20 Seattle. Seattle will have over 150 yards rushing, and he's giving it to Davis, which is interesting because Davis and Carson might be interesting to see what happens there. Will,
Yes, sir.
what you got for me?
Okay, Seahawks 28, Raiders 13. My prognostication is Seattle will have a 100-yard rusher for the fourth straight week.
Good.
Either Carson or Davis.
Yep.
And my game ball is going to go to Jaron Reed because I think with Osemele out, we're going to get some interior pass rush, and I think Reed's going to get a couple sacks.
Good. Good. I like that. Matt.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. It's going to be wet. It's going to be slippery balls. Always a problem. And the kicking game is going to be screwed, and the throwing game is going to be screwed. I'm not quite sure it's going to be quite as high scoring as people think, but I think it's going to be Seahawks 20, Raiders 17.
Right.
Good.
I think I'm going to give my prognostication. You, Will, in your injury report, you didn't say that Marshawn was out or doing anything ridiculous or just turning up for the money.
Nope.
So he's going to be playing, is he? Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So my prognostication is that Carson's going to get more running yards in beast mode.
Oh, that was my other prediction. Very good.
Wow.
And my
Nice.
game ball will go to Carson.
Excellent.
Wow. Okay. Well done. And now it comes down to me.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, the Seahawks get a break in their schedule and get to play the Oakland Raiders and their Chucky doll come-to-life head coach John Gruden across the Atlantic Ocean, instead of in front of their fans who have the charming nickname the Black Hole. The Black Hole, of course, is coincidentally also the name of a bad Walt Disney film and also the nickname of Cardi B's vajayjay. Okay? I can't
Send
roll
all
my
hate
Rs.
mail to Dennis
Yeah.
Nippenberg.
I can't roll my R's. Okay. The Raiders are supposed to have a home game, but the way my social media sites flooded with pictures of 12s in England, and the fact that 70% of the Black Hole fan base cannot leave the country due to ankle bracelets and legal issues, this should feel like a home game for Seattle, and they will take full advantage. Watch my game ball, Frank Clark, make Derek Carr feel like he's been hit by a car. As he continues to slide slow far down, people are reconsidering whether he or his terrible brother David Carr are the worst quarterback in the family. That's quite a competition. Watch the Seahawks score 3 touchdowns rushing as a team. And watch the Seahawks put a good old American ass whipping on the Raiders as they put on a jolly good show for the Brits and win by a score of Seattle Seahawks 31, Oakland Raiders 17. This one's for Smudge. All right. Oh, wow. Looks like it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-man fan jam show to a sad close. We're glad you decided to waste some time with us. We hope you laughed a little and maybe you learned a little something. What did we learn? Well, we learned that slippery balls are never good.
Nope.
We learned that Moses is wearing pants. Several things. There are several things babies can suck, apparently. Mike knows pre-calc, and Will had a girlfriend. Who knew? So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, our news hound, Shadowhawk Will, Statsman Mark and Dustin, wherever they are, Mike Pascale, Roger Goodell, Mark Ty Turner, Jose, Tom, Mosette, Little Mo, Dave Casper, Ken Stabler, John Madden. Boom! This is Moses saying until next time, go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
And don't forget Walter Jones.
Yeah.
Who's everywhere.
Tally ho!
That's the end of the fourth quarter, so it's time to bring today's broadcast to a close. Tally ho, and go Hawks!